Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. I have a special treat for you today. I'm joined by my friend Marshell.
Hi!
And she just got a brand new CM350 Scan and Cut 2. And she has allowed me to do an unboxing video so that any one of my viewers who just got a Scan and Cut will know what to do, start to finish, how to set it up, and how to use it. She also brought a project along with her, which I'll let you see here. And it's what we're gonna do is our first project with the Scan and Cut because Valentine's Day is coming up. And these are for your son's class, yeah?
Yes.
So this will be Valentine's to give out at school, so we can cut all these stamped images out using the Brother ScanNCut as the first project. All right, I get excited even though I already have one of these. I get excited whenever you get to unbox something new. Da, da, da. So I'm gonna take everything out, see what's inside. Okay, you can help me see if it's taped up. So, where'd you get this Scan and Cut?
Oh, my husband got it for me for Christmas.
All right.
After he saw me looking at them online.
What a good hubby.
This would be the mat, right?
Okay, so we got a scanning mat. Okay, great. We'll put that up on the table. Let's see what's in there. We got okay, let's see. We're going to unwrap the plastic. So it has quick reference guide. We're going to go ahead and undo the tape here. And we're going to take off the tape for this one. Okay, actually they're the pens. Okay. So you can put that right under so they can see that. So these are pens and we can draw with that. So we'll actually do that as well. All right, so I'm taking the tape off. I'm taking this little sign off. Okay, and we'll go ahead and let's see what this says. It's just telling you what to do with your blade and your mat. So we already know this, so we'll show the viewers with the video. It's much easier. We're gonna put this up on the table and we'll get this box of goodies. And now we have unboxed. So let's go over here. We've unboxed the machine, let's unbox the accessories. Oh, how fun. All right, so we have our plug. Twist, we're gonna plug that in, but we have to plug it into the adapter. So these are, if you're in Europe or another country, these are dual voltage machines. Okay, here we go. So here's the adapter. And
comes with a quick reference guide.
Quick reference guide, okay.
Front.
You can open that up and we'll see what it tells us to do right away, even though we're going to probably do our own thing, but we can see what it says for the quick reference. We're plugging the plug into the adapter, okay? So this is going to go into the machine. This is going to go into the wall, obviously. So let's do that. We're not going to turn it on yet because there's still lots of tape on the machine, but I'm just going to plug it in. Okay, and then we have...
What size blade would you cut with?
Okay, let's see.
This.
So let's see.
Stampin' Up.
Do you have Stampin' Up? Okay, you have Whisper White cardstock. We're gonna use the blade depth of 4 for that. So let's go ahead and put the blade into the blade holder. Okay, we're gonna take the blade out of the package. I'm gonna let you do this, actually. Okay, I'm gonna come right under here where, as long as you're over the mat, then they'll see your hands. So go ahead and open up the blade holder, right about here. Okay, take the cap, you could take the cap off. Yeah, that's the cap for the blade holder. Yeah, just pull that, just yank it off. Yeah, there you go. And then just unscrew the whole blade. Yep, it'll come off, okay? And the blade is already in the blade holder, awesome. So all we needed to do is take the cap off and then just turn it all the way to 12, okay? All the way to 12 tight and then back to 4. And then go like back. So you make it tight and then you go back to 4. All right, so the blade was already set up for us, great. So all we need to do is put it into the Scan and Cut. So let's take the tape off the Scan and Cut. I'm gonna turn this camera up at an angle. and zoom out a little. So we can just put the blade right in there. Okay, lots of tape, lots of cardboard. I'm gonna help you because there's so much. I guess they didn't want it moving around during shipping. Okay.
They do put little tabs so it's easy to peel off though.
And this is just to keep the blade carriage from rolling around, I guess, this cardboard. Kind of like your printer. Every time I ship a printer, it always seems to stop working because it never had its original packaging again.
I do save all these, like my Cricut is in the original box for that reason.
Yep.
Shipping.
Okay, so this will go ahead and put the blade holder right into the
How does it go?
canister. You see how, yeah. See the, yeah, take the cap off and then it goes right in there.
Do I push or?
Okay, let's see, it just
I
show
am
the back.
new at this,
That's okay.
by the way, so
Well, this-
I'm learning while your viewers are learning.
Awesome. See how there's little ridges? The ridges go right into those ridges. And then you just put the little flap down. Okay, great. So that's good. Now we're going to take, this is a pen, this here is a pen holder for drawing, so we'll use that. And then that's when you want to draw, you would use this one. So that came with it. So we have black and red. Okay, let's see like accessories.
Stylus. And
Awesome. Stylus, which I'm always losing. And there's a stylus and a little spatula and a cute little case to hold them in. And like you said, a quick reference guide. Okay, so let's find out what a sticky mat is. This is the only time you're ever going to see a sticky mat, viewers, because the only time it's really sticky is when you first get it and your first few uses. So let's just open up the mat. And it's a standard tack mat, standard mat. Take it out of the cellophane. And there's a little cover on it. It's a dust cover. And you want to keep that on when you're not using it because it will, yeah,
right?
it'll keep it sticky, yeah.
Between uses.
Oh, listen to the sound of a sticky mat. Okay, so now you're just going to take, go ahead and you can put your Whisper White cardstock onto, I'll plug it in and you put the Whisper White cardstock onto the mat and I'll plug in the machine.
Is there, just put it in the very corner?
Yeah, you just don't want to block the registration marks. You see the registration marks? Those are for scanning. And first thing we're going to do is scan and cut your images. So you definitely don't want to block those marks because it needs it.
Should I cut this out?
No, it does. We'll erase whatever you don't want to cut. We'll erase it later. Okay, great. So then we're going to open up the front of the machine. I'm going to just put this on the floor, this plug. Okay, and now we're just going to bring the machine closer so I can see the control panel. Now lift up this control panel so that it stands up and it has like a little lever. See that? Awesome. And then it kind of goes all the way forward, and then if it's too much forward, you just start again. See, it clicks at little levels. Awesome. So now just turn on the machine.
To plug it in.
No, it's plugged in. Plugged in. Okay, just turn on. And then
Da-da-da.
we're going to see the home screen without fingerprints all over it like mine has.
So you have the same exact
I have the
machine?
same exact model,
Cool.
CM350. Scan and cut too. That's why it's great that you got the same one. And okay, so you're gonna do all this. So you're just gonna touch the screen and it should say pattern and scan. You can use your finger or you can use your stylus. Go ahead and say okay. And you're gonna choose scan because we want to scan your little Valentines. Direct cut because we're gonna just directly cut these out. You don't want to save them, so that's why we're using direct cut. And then this is just temporary storage. You don't have the wireless set up yet, so you need a wireless activation card. Did you get that yet from Amazon?
No.
Okay, so you actually, this is one of the things about the Brother. This is where I think it's kind of funny. You see it says wireless ready, it says wireless ready. That's not true, because until you get an activation card, you can't use the wireless. So really it's not ready. You need to buy a wireless activation card. And we could actually do another video later about how to set that up. So just go ahead and just say temporary storage is on your machine. And then you're going to load the mat using this button here. So you're going to hold one hand
I don't need to tape it?
Nope, you just hold one hand there and then
Here?
yeah, just here, just while it's loading, and then use that load button. Yep.
The screen is very sensitive,
Right.
which I'm not used to.
It is very sensitive. Okay, now because these have good contrast, the ape and the background and the alligator, you can just use black and white recognition mode. But go ahead and click on that. I just went right here to the settings. If you ever had paper that was not good contrast, you would use the color mode. But just keep it on black and white. So that's just keep it and say okay.
Okay.
And now go ahead and say start. And it's going to scan.
I don't have to do that thing where you pick the area, or that's after?
Later, right.
Okay. I have watched a few of your videos.
Awesome. Awesome. I think that's what makes a lot of people decide to get the machine, actually, when they see what it can do in the videos, which is good. Okay, say okay and see how it did on selecting. Yep. Say okay. And now we see how it did. It did great. It did great on, we won't be cutting, or we can, well, let's first put an outline distance. Go here to the outline distance and put a 0.04. That puts a little, and oops, usually 0.04 and say okay. And so we probably won't cut we can cut the apes, but we just need to edit out the head so that it cuts the outside of the ape. The otters, we have to edit out some of the little, what do you call it? The little watermarks. So to get them out, you can just go here to ignore, click there, and you want to ignore image object size. So go ahead and ignore until they start to disappear. You're going to actually watch the black lines disappear. So raise that. So right now it's ignoring anything 0.12, but as you raise it, you're going to see other things just start to get ignored. Because we don't want to cut out your sentiments, and we don't want to cut out like all those little water splash marks.
So
keep
the
going.
Things with the black lines is
yeah,
what's cutting?
It's disappearing. I think keep going a little more. I'm pretty sure you got them, but go ahead.
So just like, how come this one's not out?
Well, that one it wasn't a successful scan, that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so even though you have a brand new machine, and that's a good point. So just say okay, and we'll see. We can do the rest. And just say okay again. And okay again. So now, yeah, we still have to do some editing, even though we got rid of a lot of stray bits. Okay, we got rid of the watermarks. We should have, we have to connect him, because right now he's not, and that's a good point. So I would say, unless you want to glue them on separately, if we put a line there, they would have stayed connected.
Oh, it's okay.
We should have connected the little heart to the otter.
So should I just do these images?
Yeah, so I would say, go here to the editing mode and get rid of the ones you don't want. So get rid of that little piece right there. Just click on it, yeah, and hit trash. And say okay. So, and I would get rid of the faces of just the middle of the apes, just so the faces got selected. Yeah, just one at a time, one at a time. And it still trash them, yeah. See, so you still got the outline of the ape. Okay, so if you want to scan the otters in, we have time, we can just get rid of the otters and do it later, or we could just get them separately. Do you care if the hearts are separate? Okay, so go ahead and say okay. And it got everything but a couple of your alligators. And just go ahead and cut.
Do I need to hold it or anything?
Nope, because you probably see me holding it all the time, and you probably see me using tape all the time if you watch my videos. That's because the mats are not very sticky after the first, go ahead and start, after the first couple times. But yours, and let's just talk about blade depth. You did blade depth before, right? Yeah, so they're not very sticky after a while, so you will start to need like painter's tape on them.
I did see something online about how to make them re-sticky.
Right, I have this stuff called two-way glue that I'll show you, and it does help make them sticky again. And I've actually done things like take a Cricut mat, and I've actually glued it onto a Brother ScanNCut mat to make them sticky. I've done a lot of things.
I'm gonna draw a line.
Okay, so let me show you. Okay, let's show you. Okay, so what Marshell is doing for the next set of stamped images from this Hey Love stamp set by Stampin Up is, I said that these aren't really going to cut out because the hearts are separate, so she's connecting all the hearts. And you can actually connect this heart to the tail as well. So if you want them to go down into the bottom of the tail, or just connect that heart to the tail, straight to the tail. So she's trying to make one solid image that it can outline and cut out. One thing you'll notice about this machine is it's very loud. So what did you color the stamped images with?
I used the blends markers from Stampin Up.
Awesome.
I have a few different sets.
Okay, so they look very nice. So blends markers, and we're not cutting out the sentiments right now because the ScanNCut can cut out sentiments, but it's just easier sometimes to use a punch if you have a punch, which we do.
I punched some of these out already.
Okay. Will you hand me that punch just to show? Okay, so instead of cutting out the sentiments with the ScanNCut, she just used this punch here called the classic label punch. Okay, so that's just easier. Okay, these are almost done, and so now come on over. And so you say okay when it's finished, and then you say okay and you unload the mat. And yeah, unload the mat. And okay again. So now, right here you can see. So you can go ahead and peel the Whisper White off, then get your little spatula.
So we ignored the watermarks.
Yep, we did, because you did ignore object size. But you're right, we should have connected the little heart to the otter, and it would have cut out in one piece, but that's okay because you're still putting them on the Valentine, is gluing them next to each other. And then you find your little spatula.
Think of how long it would have taken me to try to cut these out.
Oh, unbelievable. No more fuzzy cutting once you have a ScanNCut.
Then the spatula.
Now, typically, I mean, it's great that you colored them first and now they're all done. But I typically, because not all of them cut out, so I typically, color them afterwards, because then if they don't cut out, I don't waste time coloring them. But it worked out where you got a new machine and they cut out beautifully.
I was kind of worried about the cutting process by myself, so.
Well, you got it, and it looks like the machine already needs to be aligned a little bit. You keep peeling them. I'm going to go grab the white cardstock. I can see that there's already more white space on the left, than on the right. So I'll grab the cardstock while you keep peeling this, and we're going to align it.
So I was going to take these, cut these out, put them on cardstock, and make little M&M Valentines for my son's classroom. Thought the kids would enjoy this.
Oh,
Special treat.
definitely.
Homemade.
And you're going to definitely have nicer Valentines than other parents, I'm sure. Here, let's put those here so I can show you why we need to align them.
The same type from the same store here.
Yes, exactly.
So you got one of each.
Okay, great. So I noticed now, even though you have a brand new machine and that your blade is not aligned, your position, so I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'll have you do it, but I'll get the process started. So we need a white piece of cardstock. You need a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, or at least it has to be 12 inches wide. Okay, I'm just going back to the home screen. She's still coloring in the skunks over there, which we'll get to. And we're going to go, well, sometimes if you peel the mat back a little bit and they come off, it'll look a lot easier, so we can get them off quicker. All right, so what you're going to do is go to the little wrench. That's your settings. Well, I'm just going to keep peeling these off the mat.
So I have a quick question.
Sure,
on
of course.
These skunk images here.
Yep.
I made a pencil mark around, not that one, I didn't finish.
Right.
Around the hearts. Do I need to connect this inside one also?
Nope,
or
because
just
you made,
the outside?
that's a great question. It's just one big image. You got them. We'll do those after we align the blade because That way they'll cut out even more perfect than the last ones. So go ahead and go to the little wrench. This little wrench on the screen. Okay, and you want to just go down to hit the down arrow. And I want to see down some more. Okay, keep going.
Allowance?
Nope, keep going. It's called, there it is, scanning, cutting, position, adjustment. Yeah. Okay, so we want that. So it's going to say the carriage will move. It tells us to put a piece of white cardstock in. So there's white cardstock right there. Just stick it on the mat. What we're going to do is align your blade so that it's perfect from now on. It'll last another 30 cuts or so before you have to do this again. Okay, so go ahead and load the mat. We're still using a blade depth of 4, which is fine for cardstock, for light cardstock. So load that. Okay. Yep, say okay. Did it load? Oh wait, we didn't load yet. You just said okay. All right, so go ahead and press start. It's going to cut a line on the cardstock. I'm surprised we had to do this, like, even though you just bought the machine. But maybe that was the shipping.
So what is this gonna do?
Okay, so the next time we cut, you'll have a perfect amount of, just gonna get up that card there. See, right now I noticed the only reason we're doing this is because I noticed that there was more white around the top than the bottom on the ape and the alligator. So I know that the blade is not positioned correctly because it should have the same amount of white space all around. So that's what we're gonna fix. See how it's off alignment? So you're using these arrows. Go ahead and use those arrows too, to get that little crosshair in the center. Yeah, you see that little red dot? You want that to be.
You want it right in the middle?
Yeah, so that's why we know the blade's
right
not aligned. Yeah, it looks good enough. And then you can say, yep, next. So you just did the left side, now you're doing the right side. It cut a little mark, so now you're lining up the blade in a position so that next time it cuts the same amount of white space around your stamped images. Okay, and we say okay, and now we're ready to do. We can go home now. Everything's saved. Or just say okay, or go back. Home. We have to keep getting out of here. Now go ahead and peel it off just to show the viewers what it did. And you don't use your, oh no, it's already sticking. This is what happens when your mat's really sticky. We didn't use the Whisper White cardstock, or it would have come off easier, but we'll just flip the mat around and use the other side. So what it did is it cut, just to do that alignment, it cut little crosshairs, and then it scanned them, and that's how then it knows the position alignment. So that's why you waste a piece of cardstock doing that. Not a whole piece, but. All right, let's stick the little skunkies on there. It doesn't matter how you stick them on. And the mat, you can put the mat in upside down or right side up, as long as you're not blocking the registration marks when you scan. Okay, go ahead and lay that in there.
Is it best to go in the very corner?
Well, at first you're going to find out that that's the good place. So go ahead and load the mat.
But then your mat will
But then
get
your
worn.
mat, right, exactly. Then you're going to find out that every machine has a personality. Go ahead and say direct cut, because we're directly cutting these out. And the machine, you want to store it on the machine because we don't have the wireless activation card yet. Start. Yeah, you're going to find out that like every machine has a personality and certain places don't cut out. So like in my machine, I can't use the top left as much. I kind of have to go in the middle because it just stopped cutting. It stopped recognizing a lot on the top left. I mean, I still use it, but it's not as good as when I go a little, like an inch to the right. And I think that just has to do with all the debris and dirt on my machine as compared to your machine. Okay, say okay, and hopefully all the skunk, wow, you did a great job coloring those in. So you can select the area, so instead of getting, that was where our little white cardstock got stuck already, so just select the area so you only have, yeah, that's good enough. You're just selecting out the white stuff on the bottom. And you want to do an outline distance again, you can. Okay, 0.04, good, say okay. Okay. We still have a blade depth of 4, good, and cut. So you did a good job outlining them with pencil and go ahead and start, because they all got recognized. And if one didn't, you just have to make a pencil mark again. So there's that white eraser, want to grab that? So that's what you're going to erase with, because it's just like you don't want to ever use the pencil, eraser. Here it is. because the regular pencil eraser will leave marks all over. So you use a white eraser like Pentel or something like that.
It's cutting.
Yep.
See it cutting.
And you could, we can actually show a picture on my blog later of your finished products. Like we'll make a couple and we'll take a picture and show your finished Valentines so they can see how cute these are. And they're already colored and they're already ready to go. You can give them out this week. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and unload the mat. Good. Yeah, unload. And say okay, and then peel those little skunkies off. Awesome. And then we'll take a piece of cardstock and the Whisper White, which I have on the table here, and we'll use your pen next. Yeah, be happy that it's sticky. Like I said, one of the last times you'll have a super sticky mat. They do need to fix that, but hey, it is what it is. I think I'm on my 15th or 16th mat right now. Wow. So what we're going to do is take a piece of Whisper White cardstock next, and I'm just going to show her how to use her pen tool because, we've just unboxed it. There's a new tool. Not all machines come with a pen tool, but since yours did, we might as well use it. And I'm just going back home and clearing out. We're not saving anything. So these machines come with hundreds of built-in shapes and patterns and some fonts. When you update the machine, you also get some extras once in a while, and you can also download projects from Brother Canvas Workspace, which are pre-made projects that you can cut out. So for now, let's just use the built-in pattern because that's the great part about the ScanNCut is that there's built-in patterns. Okay, so hit the pattern, and we'll just put a piece of white cardstock there, and let's pick out something you want to draw. Pick one of the icons, the Winter Lucky, because those are good for drawing, and just pick one and we'll use your pen tool to draw it. Ant, okay, good. Now what the pen tool is going to do is make an outline of that ant. It's going to be 5.9 inches wide by default. So if you want it on a card, I would say 3 inches wide or so, or 3.5. When you change the, hello crafty friends, we're back where we left off. My camera storage was full, deleted some things, and now we're back. So where we are is we've unboxed a brand new ScanNCut belonging to my friend Marshell. Okay, now she's going to use her pen tool for the very first time. Okay, this is the pen tool that came with it. Okay, would you like to use the red pen or the black pen?
Red.
Red pen, okay. So go ahead and take the red pen out. She's going to write the word ant, and I was saying if you're going to put it on a card maybe 3 inches wide, you can make it three inches wide so it'll fit on a card nicely. So you can go ahead and use your stylus. Oh wait, don't do all that yet because you got to show your viewers what's going on here. First change the width. All right, first, yeah, go ahead and change it to like maybe 3. Okay. You can hold it there, it goes faster, yeah, hold it. And then you can nudge it back up. Is it for a card? Or
I was just picking.
Just picking something, yeah. Okay, 3.75 is fine. Okay, so now put that cap back on just so you can show where the cap actually, so when you took out the thing, you take the cap off and you put it on the top of this pen holder, on the top of the holder. So take the little plastic cap off and it actually fits right up on the top of that. That's where you store it while you're waiting, see? Pretty cool, right? Okay, so now open it up and open up the top and and then put the pen in. Okay, good. Okay, then shut the top and we're gonna replace the blade. So go ahead and put that in the blade holder. I like it, you can't lose your cap, right?
That's nice.
And then shut that. Okay, that's it.
Wait,
Did it shut? Yeah, well no, maybe not. Did you take the bottom off? Hold on, take this out. There was a bottom part. You did, right? Yep, go ahead and put that in. No, you did it right.
Oh, there, it wasn't all the way
It wasn't
down.
all the way in, good. Okay, so now go back to the screen and you're gonna say okay, or you're gonna say set, and you say okay. And this time, instead of cutting, you're gonna draw. That's the only difference when you use yeah. So now you're using a built-in, I don't know if we loaded the mat yet. No, we didn't, so go ahead and load the mat. Yeah, so the only difference between cutting and drawing is just that you just say draw and then start. Oh, you already had the draw, so you just don't you have to say draw or cut. You had it selected, so then you unselected it. There you go. It's doing a beautiful job. It's a fine pen, so it's really nice. Okay, so we could also like scan that, cut it out, etc. You know, color it, do different things. But I was just getting a little familiar with the pen tool, which is built in to the machine. So good. So just go ahead and unload the mat, and we're good to go. Looks great. And do you have any other questions or any other projects you want to do with the Brother ScanNCut while you're here?
No, but I mean, we could always pick another sentiment to draw with this to go on the card.
Okay, let's see.
Do we want to flip it?
Yeah, you can flip the paper around. And
do they have a word like Valentine's? Or
okay, let's say okay. Well, actually, just
my aunt's birthday's coming.
We'll do a happy birthday. Do you want to still use the the red pen, or you want to change it to black? It doesn't matter. We're gonna say okay.
You can change it to black.
Okay, we're gonna go pattern, and we'll go to this one, and we'll go ahead and load the mat, and go ahead and scroll down. You can. It's all in alphabetical order, so celebrate, happy birthday, and all that.
Wow, look at all those. Forever. Grandma, Grandpa, Halloween.
Yeah, there's a lot built in. There's a happy birthday. That's a good one. So, you want the same size, 3 point something? You have to 3.75. Okay, good. Say set. Now this time, after you say set, we'll move it a little bit away from the edge so we can, you know, after we say set, this time, you see how it's up near the edge and it got a little tight? So when we say, when you go in here to the edit mode, you can use these little arrows to sort of nudge it down. The little arrows here. Yeah. Nudge it away from the edge a little. Yeah. And to the right a little. Because that way it won't get so close where the marker got on there. Yeah. Okay. So say okay. It just likes to put things too close to the edge, in my opinion. Say okay. Okay. And now we're going to draw.
I'm always nervous to.
No, don't be.
Touch it.
So we're still using the red pen, which is fine. You can use red or black. And then the thing is, if you want to cut it, you could. There's two ways. You could cut it along the line, but it's better to scan in and cut it. The reason is that way you can put an outline distance around it. So we'll do that. And that's how we'll sort of wrap up. Is you'll take your happy birthday sentiment, you'll scan it in, and you'll cut it out with an outline distance. And we can only do that because it's not so close to the edge. If it was too close to the edge, you can't have an outline distance. And then it's ready for coloring. Okay.
Awesome.
So finish drawing.
It says finish drawing.
So now say okay. And this time you're just going to go back to the home screen because you can erase all that. And then okay, erase and scan, direct cut, and machine. And go ahead and scan that in. Start. Or black and white. Yep, start. Well, the black and white's already set, so start. So if we would have just used the cut feature, when it was back, it would have cut along the line. But that wouldn't look good because you wouldn't see the cool color. So it's better to scan it and cut it. And that way you get the color.
So it saw this part too?
Yeah, but we're going to ignore that. So just select the happy, go ahead, say okay. And select the happy birthday. And you want to outline distance like before, 0.04 or so. Okay, looks good. And let's see our blade depth. Oh, blade depth, this is a good thing to check. Remember, we still got our...
We got this one.
Yep, it would have known when we said to cut, we have to put the blade in. When we said to cut, it would have known. It would have been like, oh, where's your... It would have said, you have a...
Put the cap back on.
Yeah, because if we'd have tried to cut it, it said, hey, you don't have a blade in there. And I think
blade depth of 4.
4 because it's still, well, this one maybe do a little more. I thought it was whisper weight, but it's the thick whisper weight. So do a blade depth of like 4.5 or 5. Do 5. 5 is okay. Because I thought it was the normal one, but we have like a thin one, and then we have a cardstock one for cards.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the thicker one. So, and then you just gotta, go ahead and say, okay. You always have to test, say cut. To see what blade depth for all your different materials, you do a little test cut. Say start. And a test cut, whenever you say test cut, it puts like a little tiny square up in the corner, so then it knows. But see, I just know all the depths, so that's why I don't do test cuts anymore. But when I first started, I did a lot of test cuts to figure out what depth. All right.
And finished cutting.
So unload.
Okay. Unload.
Okay. Peel that off the mat. See how it came out.
And
you can actually, you can either peel it or with your spatula, or just use your spatula for now. I guess you can. You have a sticky mat. So if you bend the mat a little bit like this, and then get this to connect, and you put your spatula under it, then it's easier, I think. There you go. Awesome.
Pop it out.
We'll put that on the, if it's not all the way out, it's like our blade depth could have been higher. Because I was using thick cardstock.
Yeah, this is really.
But that's okay. We're not going to do it again because we're just going to wiggle it.
So it's,
Wiggle it and jiggle it.
Just play with it.
But you know what?
The paper out.
Right, and it's better to not have too deep of a blade because then you cut through your mat, which I've done. And with my sister, when she was playing with the machine with me, we cut right through the little elves at Christmas time because the blade was just a little bit too high. Okay, so I think you understand how to use your machine now. You were able to use the built-in patterns. You were able to cut out stamped images. And there's a lot more you could do with like saving images that you scan in and reusing them again. There's a lot more you can do with wireless after we set that up to do projects online. And there's just a lot of really cool things you can do with pattern paper, scanning and cutting out pattern paper. So be sure to check out my YouTube channel, thepaperchef.com, to see lots of things you can do with your Brother ScanNCut. And thank you for watching, and thank you, Marshell, for letting us unbox your brand new CM350.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.